It may be a new trading month, but we're seeing the same themes for Wall Street as well as Washington, D.C. We started out with strong gains for the equity averages, and the Dow continues to eye that 22,000 level. Joining me now is Alan Valdes of SilverBear Capital to weigh in on the markets. Alan, great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Remy.
Well, it may be August, but the same themes for DC and Wall Street continue. We continue to see new highs for the equity averages, and DC does remain in the headlines, but it hasn't been affecting the markets. So what do you make of the latest earnings?
Well, the earnings have been so strong. Like you said, yesterday, last day of July, we closed it down on a new high. Today, we're at a new high. It's all earnings. It's 100%, and actually about 75% of the S&Ps that have reported have beat on the bottom and the top line. So it's been a great earnings season.
And indeed, we'll continue to eye earnings, especially Apple, after the closing bell and see how it affects the tech sector. Now, we do have to keep in mind that we did get a bunch of economic data in terms of PMI. And of course, we get that jobs report at the end of this week. But given everything that's happening in the economy, what do you expect to see heading into the rest of the year?
Well, you're right. We got good consumer report out of the good consumer spending report out of the government today. Very positive. We love to see consumers spending. And you're right, after the bell, we get Apple tech stock. That's going to move the market if it's a good one, which everybody expects it's going to beat. So that could definitely take us over 22,000 if we're not there already. But I think for the rest of the year, for the rest of the summer, it's going to be a great summer.
And Main Street has been paying attention to what's happening in the stock market, and so has Donald Trump. Now, we can't forget about what's happening in Washington, D.C., but when it actually comes to getting stuff done on Capitol Hill, we do have the debt ceiling coming up. And in addition to that, there is tax reform on the table. So as we head into the rest of this year, what do you expect to see in terms of legislation?
Well, right now, Trump's been bulletproof. No matter what he does, the market keeps going up. It's amazing. But eventually it will weigh on. The debt ceiling will weigh on the market. If we don't get regulations, some deregulation there, that's going to weigh on the market. If we don't get these tax cuts by the end of the year, that's going to weigh on the market. So yeah, these things are definitely going to weigh on the market. This is all up on earnings now, and it's doing great. But eventually people are going to say, wait a minute. What's really behind that curtain over there? So I think we got to tread carefully here. Have your stop orders ready just in case, because this market, we're up at these levels that no one's ever seen, obviously, but it can turn around on a dime because the volume's very thin.
And Alan, before I let you go, you mentioned the gains we saw in July for the equity markets, but we've also been seeing commodities inch higher very slowly. Gold is higher, oil is higher, at least for now. So as we head into the new trading month, do you expect that uptrend to continue?
I do. Maybe oil may not. Oil, it's going to be the end of drive time soon, back to fall. You don't see the people driving their cars as much as they used to be. But gold, I think, will keep ticking up as long as the market ticks up. That'll tick up. It used to be a safe haven, but now it's a smart investment, people think. So I think you'll see that keep ticking up, and the commodities in general will keep going.
Okay, Alan, as always, thank you so much for your insight, and thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Remy.